everybody. It's August 23rd. I'm Dave Morris. Thanks for clicking on the play. Coming up in today's edition, we'll look at how the number of smokers, that figure is down in the state, and how one local film director is shooting his global thriller all right here in Oklahoma. But first, the Oklahoman's Brian Dean has been talking to investigators about various aspects surrounding the death of East Central University student Christopher Lane. Lane was fatally shot while jogging in Duncan just last Friday. It's been a week ago. Originally, investigators believed the shooting to be connected with some kind of gang activity, but no longer believe that to be the case. Our Brian Dean says investigators report seeing an increase in gang activity throughout the state, however. In fact, there is reported gang activity in all 77 counties.
It's evolved. I mean, gang activity has evolved over the years. They first started seeing what we would think of as gangs arriving in Oklahoma City in the 1980s, and this followed obviously from Los Angeles and the West Coast. And then, you know, it just sort of spreads out. I mean, people emulate what they see. So as you started getting more and more gang activity in urban centers, it spread to, you know, suburban communities, and then smaller towns, you have the same types of crime, and thus the same types of gang activity end up catching on.
The crime has been labeled as a thrill killing. Lane is not the first ECU student to succumb to this type of crime. Last year, Gennaro Sanchez was shot in a rural area of Pottawatomie County. Investigators believe in both the cases, the suspects wanted to know what it would feel like.
Both cases, it's been very hard for the community and even the prosecutors. I was speaking with Richard Smotherman, who's prosecuting the case from December 6th in Pottawatomie County, and it's just there's a lot of personal outrage that comes when someone has little value for human life.
That's our Brian Dean reporting on the Christopher Lane story. Thank you for your time, Brian. Moving on, Oklahoma now ranks number 39 among all states for adult smoking. That's actually a significant improvement from last year's ranking. We were number 47. This improved ranking is a result of Oklahoma's smoking percentage dropping about 3% in a year. While the number of smokers in the state has gone down thanks to increased health efforts, researchers have also changed the way they gather data.
They all explained that in 2011, and that's as far back as the data the CDC has on this, because they did change how they collect the data. Now they are using people's cell phones, which they didn't do before. And so it used to be that they just called households with a house phone. And I mean, how many of a landline? How many of us don't have a landline? So they're now including people who have cell phones.
If you've been around the Paseo lately, you may have noticed a lot of activity. Local filmmaker Lance McDaniel is working on his latest film. It's called Light from the Dark Room. The religious thriller takes place in various cities across the globe, but it's all shot right here in Oklahoma.
I talked to one of the film commissioners, Javier Nera, who also works for Manhattan Construction, and he was saying that it's possible to use Oklahoma for really just about anything. We have so many different kinds of environments and ecosystems.
That's our George Lang. You can read more about his story about Lance McDaniel and Light from the Dark Room in upcoming editions of the Oklahoman. And I have driven through the Paseo. It's a buzz of activity. They've had like 250 people counting extras on this set. Pretty cool stuff. That'll do it for this edition of The Play. My charge to you, go out there and have a great weekend, everybody.